remind you, I am standing in the country music capital of Australia, if not the world. Oh, no, I think you'd struggle. You'd struggle to beat a certain city in the south of America. But as I mentioned earlier, the Country Music Festival was not held this year. It's usually held in January, but because of COVID considerations late last year, it was cancelled. The director of the Tamworth Country Music Festival, Barry Harley, joins me now. Good to see you, Barry.
G'day, Chris. How are you?
You must have been so shattered, and it must have actually really depressed this whole community to not have the festival this year.
Extraordinarily so. I mean, you know, regional cities like Tamworth rely on these sort of artificial reasons to come to Tamworth, and we're so blessed that we've had this sort of 49-year-old festival that we've relied on to inject something like over $50 million into the economy in that 10 days. So not to have it meant that we lost $50 million worth of injection in the economy. So the feeling was right the way across.
And it would have been frustrating too, because obviously with bookings and travel, you had to make the call late last year, and when you got to sort of mid-late January, you might have thought, oh, well, if we knew it was this good, we might have been able to actually stage it.
And that was the thinking process. We had to make the call back in late July, early August, because of all those forward bookings and artists and venues, and it was a big call. It was one that we didn't make lightly. We took into account all of the health orders and just everything we could possibly, the police, just whoever could actually give us the information we took, and we made that call. You're right, in January we're starting to have thoughts about, hang on, they're opening it up a bit. The 2 square metres has gone to 4 square metres, and so as a result we ended up with over 100 artists here during the January festival with about 80 odd gigs. So right. There was a moderate version of the 2,500 gigs that we normally have over the 10 weeks, but over the 10 days. But it's a big loss to the community.
Well, tell us about next year then, because it's going to be the 50th anniversary of the festival. You're planning ahead now. You'll be hoping borders stay open no matter what happens with some COVID outbreaks. How far advanced are you in plans to make sure you get to celebrate that 50th festival next year?
Well, there's a bit of a positive side of the cancelling the 2021 festival. We're able to start planning for the 2022 much earlier.
Yep.
And so a lot of those plans are in place, and we're looking for a better experience. We possibly can't be any bigger than we've been over the last 40 odd years, but we certainly can be better, and we're nuancing it down. But we've got lots of little things like, 50-year history books being written, documentaries are being created. The Australian Mint's doing a coin to represent the 50 years with a golden guitar in the middle of a 50-cent coin. And so there's lots of little pieces, but overall we just want all those fans and all those, and you don't have to be a country music fan to enjoy Tamworth, let me tell you, because there's over 2,500 scheduled gigs across the 10 days, and in that there is music that you'll like, guaranteed.
Yeah, it's a beautiful town. That's the thing I was going to ask you. I've not been here before, and I assume that everybody's into country music here, but not necessarily. They just like the fact that you have the festival, obviously.
Yeah, well, look, there are people that sort of would go, oh, it's not my cup of tea, but it's not about the music. It's about this brand that Tamworth has so successfully managed to build on country music capital. And yeah, there's a good proportion of people in this town that don't like country music as their first choice, but they certainly like it in January because it brings that $50+ million into the economy.
I never forget a great trip I did to Texas once, and we listened to all the country music, and we're driving along singing
what were you singing?
I'd rather be dead in a pine box on a slow train back to Georgia than staying here seeing you with another man. So why wouldn't you love country music?
Why don't you love country music?
Great to see you, Barry. Thanks for joining us, and all best of luck for next year.
We'll see you all here in January.
I can vouch for him. It's not spin. This is really a beautiful part of the world, and to be here when all that festival is going on would certainly be something spectacular. It'll happen January next year, the 50th Tamworth Country Music Festival.